Hey guys, hope you're all well. So what's the difference between modular and HUD? There's a lot of misinformation and miseducation between the two, and so I thought I'd do a quick video to give you guys a high level kind of definition and difference between the two. And I'll start doing more of these videos here explaining we've got innovation units that are coming up that we're really excited about, and I'm gonna do some more videos of kind of explaining more of the background of modular so you guys can get up to speed on that as well. So the foundation is why I'm doing the video today of the difference between modular and HUD. And there's a lot of misinformation or different information that's being put out there, so I'll try to clear the air and explain it from my years of experience. So let's start with modular. So modular can be a lot of different things. It could be panelization, so just panelizing the walls part of the structure and delivering those flat packed, like SIP panels would be a form of panelization that would technically fall under modular, right? It's off-site construction. And then volumetric modular, right, which is what we focus on, and where the entirety of the unit, bathroom floorings, appliances, paint, tiling in the bathroom, countertops, everything's done at the factory. That's volumetric modular. And modular is built, one of the main differences between modular and HUD is modular is built to the local code. So as you know, in the US, we have obviously different states, and within those states we have different counties, and different counties have different building codes, and each are at a different stage of accepting the latest form of the building code, and they have different variations also in the building code. And that's one of the things I've always enjoyed about real estate development is every county has a different way of writing their code, and it makes it interesting, makes it more difficult for sure, but also makes it interesting. And so modular is built to that local code. So it's built in a factory offsite, right? So at the core foundation definition is modular's offsite construction, but it's built to that local code, right? HUD is built to the federal code, right? So doesn't mean it's necessarily worse. There's actually many counties in the country that don't have zoning. They have building code, and I bet you there are probably even some that don't have that much of the building code. So, and some have middle of the road building code, and some have really complex building code. And so HUD, the federal code, right, which is done at the federal level, kind of like an automobile, right? When an automobile is built, let's say Toyota wants to import a new Toyota Corolla. Besides California, right, they're building that car to meet U.S. standards, so meaning all the states in the U.S. And I say besides California, because California always has their own type of nuances and regulation. But for the most part, that car that Toyota's building, or Ford or any manufacturer, is built to the U.S. code, similar to the house, similar to a HUD house. HUD has come a long way, and I think this is where a lot of confusion comes in. And again, there's also many different ways you can build modular quality-wise, and the same as HUD, right? They can both be built poorly, and they can both be built well. And the HUD code has come a long way. A lot of HUD gets a bad rap just from the history, where it started. And in the old days, it was basically kind of glorified RV, right? And but the code has come a long way, where today it's a lot closer and even higher to a lot of the local building codes that we would have around the US. So that's really the main difference. They're both built off-site, and HUD is usually more volumetric modular. Well, it is volumetric modular because it's the whole unit, just like an automobile is the whole car. Where modular can be the whole unit, which is what we focus on, but then it can be also panelization, could be bathroom pods, could be precast concrete, could be pre-built windows on a high-rise, and so on and so on, right? That would all fall under the umbrella of modular. And so in the past, we have mostly used modular. A lot of the apartment buildings that we've built has been modular because HUD isn't designed to be used to build an apartment complex with units stacked on top of each other. And it's mostly used for single family residences, although there are starting to come out with duplexes unit. But so modular, which has been what we focused on most in the past, great way to add sprinklers, right, which we need in an apartment building. It can be a lot more customized, right? But with customization can sometimes also mean more costs. And one of the advantages, just like a car manufacturer who has a car that they build and sell to the entire their country, they're building a lot of those, right? And so with like any other industry, economies of scale, you're creating more supply, you get to reduce the cost of production. And so HUD allows us to also be more competitive in pricing and still retaining the overall feel and look and design appeal of the home. And the innovation grant, which we're excited to have with Virginia Housing, and we'll be featuring the building process on our channel. We're building, so again, 2 cottages, two 3-bedroom, 2-bath, front entry porch cottages, single story, around the same square footage. They'll both be around 1,200 square feet. One will be built as a modular, one will be built as a HUD. Both on permanent foundation, both with similar finishes. Basically, the idea is that to showcase how both building methods can be used properly with quality to build a quality attainable homes, right? And every market's different. Some markets we're able, rents or sell prices are high enough and we're able to afford more of a custom modular approach, and that's the solution we'll use there. And some markets, unfortunately, the real estate prices aren't high enough, but there's still a need for entry-level price point homes and still have the look and the feel, the aesthetics, and the energy efficiency, and we can accomplish that using a HUD home. So again, at the core, remember that they're both built off-site, and one isn't necessarily better than the others. Both can be built poorly, and I've seen both built poorly, and I've also seen both built well. And obviously our goal as a company is to build good quality housing, and through this innovation grant we'll be showcasing that in both forms. We'll also be incorporating, as there are innovation units, a lot of the technology that we're really interested in incorporating into our units. Obviously heat pump mechanical systems, a really energy efficient envelope, which is really the core, right, of off-site construction, and why we made a decision years ago to focus on that is because you have to ship these homes, these units down the road hundreds of miles. It has to be well built, right? It has to be well put together, or else it'd fall apart. And inherently, by doing that, you end up with a tighter, more energy efficient envelope, which is really the low-hanging fruit to any building. I always tell folks, before you go size solar and batteries and mechanical systems, which we're all excited about, the low-hanging fruit is the envelope. And modular is a cost-effective way to be able to do a repeatable, energy-efficient envelope. And then we're adding all the other features. We're adding heat pump HVAC system, heat pump water heater, and the piece that will make it all come together to have these units producing more energy than they consume is solar shingles. So we have a partnership with GAF that we're excited about, where we'll be installing at the factory. So instead of installing just a regular roof shingle, like you see in all the homes, the home you probably live in, or when you see the production builders or builders building out there, and they're just putting on regular shingles. Well, instead of doing that in the factory, we're going to be installing solar shingles that have the solar material inside the roof shingle. It is the roof material, and that allows us the opportunity to not only produce energy, but potentially produce more energy than we actually use on a yearly basis. And that's been my goal from day one. It's really been kind of the holy grail is is when I tell folks we're building electric carve housing that from the factory we can have a turnkey, cost-effective, energy-efficient home that can produce more energy than it uses. So above net zero. Net zero, just for the folks out there that don't know the technical definition of net zero, but it's essentially a home that on a yearly basis, obviously you have days that cloudy, right, and you're producing less energy, so you're drawing from the grid, but then on more sunny days you're producing more energy and sending back to the grid. But essentially net zero means that on a yearly basis you're producing as much energy as you're consuming. And so these homes that we'll be building here on the innovation units will be producing more energy than consuming units. So net positive, which has really been my goal, right? And we can showcase that, and also obviously the building methods that is the focus of this topic today, HUD and Modular. And so make sure you think about that, when you look at both, and when you look at manufacturers, again, there's multiple out there. Some build better than others. There's definitely that entry-level price point, traditional mobile home, right, HUD home, that quality-wise, it's still better because the code, right, the HUD code is a lot better than it was even 10, 15 years ago, but it's more entry-level, right, and we're taking that and take it to the next level, right, but it's a great way to also help address affordable, attainable housing in this country, where modular doesn't work everywhere. Modular is a great solution and can work in a lot of places. Again, apartments, townhomes, 3-story walk-up, high-rises. I don't foresee a time where a HUD home will be able to accomplish that. So HUD is a good combination and another good solution to look at. So hopefully that helped clarify the main difference between the two, and look forward to continuing the conversation. And I'll be doing more of these videos to kind of lay the groundwork and explain more about modular and HUD and offsite construction and kind of how it all comes together. And hopefully you guys have an interest in helping build this type of housing in the future. We can't build it all, and so we need help, and that's the point of this channel, to help educate others who might be interested and can also help build this much needed housing. So be sure to subscribe, like, comment. That helps get the conversation. Ask questions, and that will help me also create more content, and I will answer questions through videos, and also eventually happy to do a live session with you guys and help answer questions there as well. All right, have a great day. See ya.